2 early season wins by rookie David Vuillemin gave EA Sports Supercross champion Jeremy McGrath a big wake-up call. McGrath dominated last week in Houston, grabbing back the momentum of the 250 title chase. This week, the Supercross scene witnesses the birth of a new phenom. Driven by the success of his amateur career, Travis Pastrana enters the world of professional Supercross, the most publicized and popular first-year rider in the sport's history. He will have a lot to prove. Ernesto Fonseca and Nathan Ramsey, last year's divisional champions, are now competing for the 125 Eastern title. Throw in a host of other ambitious warriors, and we've got a wild chase for a very prestigious title. Stay tuned. Toyota Trucks presents EA Sports Supercross, next from Indianapolis. From the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, it's round 6 of Toyota Trucks presents EA Sports Supercross. The home of the AFC Eastern Division NFL champion Colts is packed to the brim to follow 2 big Supercross stories here tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Ekman, along with former Supercross champion David Bailey. Jeremy McGrath, David, issued a big message in Houston last week. I have got this thing under control as he dominated for his 3rd win of the season. However, during the week, Jeremy had an illness and couldn't practice as usual.
Well, anytime you have an illness and it throws you out of sync, you can't practice during the week. To make matters worse, yesterday there was no practice session, so Jeremy's coming into this race stale. We've seen him ride with chicken pox, we've seen him ride with the flu, and he still wins. But what's really important is that this is a great opportunity for guys like LaRocco and Carmichael and Windham who are starting to slide back into points to really start to close that gap. They've got to do it now or it's too late. Carmichael's 31 points down, Windham's 35 points down. Jeremy could stay home and still keep his lead over these guys. So it's time now to start to close that gap.
Also here this evening in the RCA Dome is the other story, and that is the opening of the 125 Eastern Regional Division. It is packed with talent. Not only do we have the defending champion Ernesto Fonseca, who's in the field, but also the 125 Western champion Nathan Ramsey, who an injury earlier had to move back into this division. We've got 4, 5, 6 other guys who could win this title.
You know, it's unbelievable to see the depth of talent in this 125 class. I've never seen it. I think we're in double digits for guys that can win races and potential guys that could win the championship here. And I think it's going to be the guy that's really consistent. Fonseca knows it's going to take consistency. He won't be able to win 6 races this year. If he does, he is the man because this class is stacked.
Let's get out to Davey Coombs, who knows that there's a phenom that's being born here this evening.
Well, coming up later, we got a big treat because tonight marks the debut in Pace Supercross of 16-year-old Travis Pastrana, already arguably the 2nd most famous motorcycle rider on the world. Travis is known for being fearless. He's a great jumper. He's the king of the X Games. But a lot of the qualities that he portrays that people think will take him to the top, well, the guy behind me, number 934, David Vuillemin, already has them, and he's already in the 250 class.
Checking out the track map now and what these riders have to accomplish.
Well, it's not going to be easy. After the long start, that left-hand first corner, this Dirtworks crew has a tough time confusing these riders, but they've done it tonight. That next straightaway after the first corner, full of jumps, has an actual downhill and uphill whoop section. Haven't really seen anyone get through there clean all night, including Jeremy McGrath. And you got the...
Here's our first qualifying heat underway. Vuillemin with a great start. David Vuillemin, who's second in points to Jeremy McGrath, number 934.
Looks like...
Grayson Goodman behind him.
Yeah, but it looks like also maybe in a little trouble after coming out of the first corner. We'll get a look at that as these guys go back around. Good start for LaRocco right up there in 3rd. He's riding in some pain ever since his crash in Phoenix.
LaRocco makes the pass on Grayson Goodman. Here comes Albertyn, number 7 of Team Suzuki. He hooked it pretty tight in that corner. Larry Ward is down. Larry Ward of Team Kawasaki is down hard once again. He was just recovering from a broken rib up high in the rib cage.
That was the incident I was talking about right after the first corner. He got collided with somebody in that tricky whoop section I just talked about in the track map. These guys are approaching it now.
Sebastien Tortelli and Grayson Goodman going at it now. Here's Tortelli, number 21, on the inside, making a clean pass. But look at Grayson Goodman. Nice timing.
Well, part of what allowed Tortelli to make that pass in the first place was to give something up in the corner, and Grayson knew that. Challenged right back, got in a good line where he could make that pass. We're going to see a lot of that tonight, the way the track's designed. What I like also about this is that as they come out of this corner, approach the triple, it leads them right into a long whoop section, and right after that's the finish. I always like seeing a whoop section before the finish line. If you got a close race, one guy can just bonsai it through there like a prayer, hope he can stay on the bike, maybe pick up a position.
David Vuillemin, Mike LaRocco out in front, but Grayson Goodman holding on to third impressively. The Plano Honda full-time rider has made 3 of 5 mains, a heartbreaker in Houston last week, however. Here's Tortelli to the inside. He takes it away from Grayson. Sebastian Waugh, number 31, is right behind him. Also Planet Honda.
See Grayson getting caught into trying to ride defensive right now.
So the Planet Honda gets in front of the Plano Honda out of Plano, Texas. And here comes Greg Albertyn.
As soon as you get into a position where you find yourself having to ride a little bit more defensive, the way the track's laid out, these guys just come right by. Look how far Grayson dropped. 4 positions. Just try to protect his position.
Number 20 is Damon Huffman. Huffman bar to bar as they go over the triple.
Look at Huffman wheelies just before the first bump, heading into that whoop section. He gets a little bit better drive to there. He's able to keep the bike flatter that way.
Remember tonight, only the top 4 out of each qualifying heat get a transfer to the main event. The rest have to head on to the semifinals, where the top 5 get into the money, and then the final 2 gate positions come out of the last chance qualifier. But right now, it's Vuillemin, LaRocco, Tortelli, and Albertyn. There's Heath Boss, number 33, the privateer, trying to catch up with Huffman. Huffman's on the bubble right now. He's got a teammate in front of him. If he's going to make the main event, he has to get in front of Albertyn.
Kind of a weird situation. You know, if you make it to the main, your teammate's going to have to go to the semi, but as much of a team as these guys are, it is pretty individual. So if Huffman can make that pass, he'll do it.
So more qualifying heat action from Indianapolis, Indiana, when we return. And by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 2000, get $400 worth of free accessories and great financing on selected models. EA Sports Supercross from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. And our leader is David Vuillemin, who has set an impressive pace with Mike LaRocco out of the shot in second. Let's get out to Davey Coombs now as the 6-time champion Jeremy McGrath looks on. He'll be in the second heat.
Jeremy, I know you were sick all week. How do you feel right now?
You know, I feel a little tired, a little run down, but as always, I think I'll be all right.
Your goal going to be to go out and just get points? You're going for the win again?
No, my goal is definitely to get the start, get out there, ride as many fast laps as I can, and get the win. We'll see what happens.
David Vuillemin, though, is skying over the triple right now and has taken the whoops with a tremendous amount of confidence.
Well, when you've got a lead like this, you don't really have to push it that hard. So he's just kind of testing out the racetrack right now, making sure that the bike's set up just the way he wants. He's got the right tires on it, the suspension's dialed in. Carmichael earlier made a mistake of trying to adjust the suspension for the way the soil is. The soil here is like a sponge, so these guys tend to set the suspension up a little stiffer. He went too stiff. He's getting all that figured out in his head right now, so he can do this again in the main.
There's the difference, gaining 5.7 seconds on second place in the last lap.
These guys are turning 54-second lap times. That's what McGrath was turning earlier. He was the only guy down in that range.
You know, Vuillemin keeps riding like this, David. I wouldn't be surprised to see the battle go all the way to Las Vegas. And, of course, that's the site of our final race. And the first ever pay-per-view from Sam Boyd Stadium. We're going to have a heck of a battle between these two.
I tend to agree. All the championships that McGrath has won, they really haven't been different. I mean, he's won them all by huge margins before Las Vegas. I don't know if we're going to see that this time.
The final lap, the white flag lap, is underway for David Vuillemin.
Either way, you can see it. He realizes he's not going to get that downside of the jump, or just where he's trying to set the motorcycle. You can watch his body and see that he's trying to put it there. I call it body English. Well, you just won't see more body English from any rider out there than David Vuillemin. This guy just climbs all over the motorcycle. I think Jeremy really appreciates watching him ride, too. I've talked with him about it. Jeremy's really impressed. He says to me, that guy's good, huh? Yes, he sure is.
Impressive as he goes through the whoops. Vuillemin, LaRocco, Tortelli, and Albertyn right now in good position as the checkers are flying for David Vuillemin. Mike LaRocco takes second place. And a good performance from Sebastien Tortelli as we take a look now at the Suzuki EA Sports Supercross results page. Vuillemin, LaRocco, Tortelli, and Greg Albertyn get the direct transfer to the main event. Keith Foss on to the semis. Let's go down to Davey with the winner.
David, you look fantastic out there in that heat race, but I got to ask you, is that the fastest you can go? Because, man, you were flying.
Yeah, I was good on the cover first class, and I feel good. We tested a lot this week on the bike, and Yamaha did a great job, and my bike is really good. And I have to ride like that in the main event, and just get maybe a top 5 start will be good for me.
Good luck, David.
Thanks a lot.
Jeremy McGrath and the rest of the 250s are coming up next in our second qualifying heat. Our second heat, the gate is underway. Number 14, Kevin Windham taking the lead out of the first corner. Number 111 is Todd DeHoop, the old veteran who also has an Arena Cross Championship under his belt, but he lost time in that turn. Taking over is John Dowd. Right behind him is Jeremy McGrath. You see number 1 on the plate.
Once again, Jeremy's so clever, working his way through, picking the right lines. Already passed Dowd into second. He went around the first corner at about 7th or 8th, looked like. Kevin Windham is not going to like what he sees after he makes this right-hander.
Jeremy McGrath in second place. John Dowd in third is getting a test from Tim Ferry. As the first lap is completed now.
Look how early Jeremy gets on the power out of that corner.
There's Dowd and Ferry. Dowd number 16, Ferry number 15 from the Chaparral Yamaha group. Ferry has looked very smooth, and he takes John Dowd. They collide. He bounces off. Dowd goes down, but Ferry still in third.
Yeah, they're both looking for that good line. That's unfortunate for John. I don't think Ferry meant to do that. He got clobbered. He should have gone down himself. Take another look at Ferry. He was just aiming for that inside, and John Dowd was doubling those jumps coming into the corner. I don't think Ferry realized he was going to do that, or he'd have left him a little more room. There it is from another angle. You can see how close it got.
Kevin Windham has Jeremy McGrath behind him, but the number 14 team Honda, who's been so fast in qualifying this year, but has had trouble in the main events, has Jeremy McGrath breathing down his neck.
That's the problem. As soon as you get the best rider breathing down your neck, and you got to rewind that tape and think of how many times in the past you've been in that situation he's passed you, it doesn't give you a lot of confidence. You start riding defensive, you start worrying, the crowd gets into it, you get more nervous. There's a lot of pressure on Kevin. He's been in the 250 class enough time now that he knows he should be able to win this championship, win races.
Whoa, going down, Jeremy McGrath giving a break to Kevin Windham. Jeremy just slipping out, it looked like, on the turn.
And there goes his teammate, Tim Ferry. And Carmichael has just moved in right behind these guys.
Remember, the top 4 get the transfer to the main event in the best gate positions. Here comes Jeremy on the inside. Tim Ferry, though, riding very well. McGrath back into second place, but Kevin Windham with a big lead, about an 8.4-second lead.
Well, this could be Jeremy's first loss in a heat race this year. He comes up a little bit short right there. That wasn't the problem, but he started to make his corner before the bike was even settled. And That's just how far ahead that guy thinks. I remember talking to Larry Brooks one time, driving with Jeremy. Jeremy's in the passenger seat trying to get Larry. Look out. Watch out for that. And Larry's like, what are you looking at? And Jeremy pointed way up the road. This guy looks way ahead, thinks a little bit quicker than most guys. And right there, it caught him off guard.
Look at that. RC, Ricky Carmichael is starting to make a move on Jim Ferry now. He'd love to get that third position, but wants to be careful. Michael Craig is on the bubble in fifth, as you see on the score sheet. Carmichael trying to get into strike position on Jim Ferry. To the inside, Carmichael. Ferry accelerates. Carmichael wide. Look out for the lapper. Carmichael had to come to the inside, and he makes the pass on Jim Ferry. Carmichael now will take on Jeremy McGrath. Wouldn't that be interesting? We'll be right back with more exciting action from Indianapolis in a moment. Street Journal. Welcome back as Toyota presents EA Sports Supercross from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Windham is our leader, but the battle for second is on as Ricky Carmichael, number 4 from Team Kawasaki, is trying to make a move on second place Jeremy McGrath of the Mazda Chaparral Yamaha team.
This is a great time to try to attack Jeremy, having not felt very well this week, still not feeling very well. Carmichael has an opportunity right here to maybe catch him a little bit off guard. He has come from behind to catch him, but Jeremy made a mistake. That kind of helped.
He picked up 0.6 of a second on that last lap.
Top 3 guys right now running 54-second lap times. That's the same we saw from Vuillemin in the first heat.
Robbie Rayner's back on the track for the first time this year.
He must be thinking, man, has the pace gotten fast since I stayed off.
Jeremy McGrath cutting to the inside. He's got second place pretty well secure right now as the blue flags waving for him.
This is where Jeremy's good. Watch him jump out of this corner. He jumps all the way up over that whoop section, lands down the bottom, carries the front wheel to the top, over the next jump. You see Carmichael back there having to hit more trash, more bumps, more jumps. It slows him down. Jeremy inches away a little bit more.
So Jeremy, despite the fact that he was sick with the flu this week, has recovered well here in the qualifying heat as we take another look at our leader, number 14, Kevin Windham. Windham's been kind of a mystery this year, David. He was looked on as a top contender before the season started. Now he's 35 points back after 5 rounds.
Well, there's a couple of things that could be going on there. This is just speculation, really, and that is, in my opinion, I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself to do well. He knows he can win. I think he knows that Honda expects him to now. He has the motorcycle and the experience and all the talent, and it makes him nervous. The other thing is if you look back over the seasons, he's had a lot of injuries, and it could be that he's trying to just be smart, get through the season without an injury, and pace just isn't quite fast enough.
Putting his fist in the air has got to be a vote of confidence for Kevin Windham going into the main event. Interesting to see him trying different lines while having this big lead, David.
Yeah, I don't think it'll bother him that much to have those guys close in on him a little bit here in this final lap, as long as he still gets the heat win. This is the kind of break he needed. I get the feeling at times that he really doesn't think he's as good as he is. And that happened to me in my career. I'd watch other riders and go, man, these guys look like they're flying.
The heel clicker and the checkers for Kevin Windham. His 3rd heat win of the season. Jeremy McGrath, a very credible 2nd place. But obviously, in losing his first heat race of the year, we'll think back in the pits, I got to step it up a notch.
Well, he needs to stay off the ground, basically. I don't think he's worried about his pace, because that last lap he was 2 seconds faster than Windham. The lap before that he was 1 second faster, and as far as I can tell, a 53-second lap time in that heat race is the fastest all night. Jeremy had it. Just got to keep it on 2 wheels.
So it's Windham, McGrath, Carmichael, and Ferry that make the main event, with Michael Craig having to go on to the semifinal round. Let's run down to Davey now, as that was the Honda results page.
Well, Kevin, I know it's been a tough year so far, but you went out there, you rode smart, you rode smooth. It's got to be a big confidence builder going into the main event.
Yeah, that qualifier was faster than the first one, but you know, definitely had the pressure behind me. I felt McGrath there the first couple laps, and I guess he went down in one of the corners. We, felt like we were going at a pretty good pace, and
Yeah, hopefully tonight's the night. Hopefully I can turn my season around. And, you know, it's been a little slow, a little rocky, and then I've had some good podiums, but you know, I need that one little boost of confidence and a little spark of energy to get me over the top and hopefully just ride the momentum through the rest of the series.
Before the race, I was talking to one of your bosses, Jeff Stan, who's got 6 championships of his own, and he said that that's exactly what you need. You got to go out there and you got to beat McGrath.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and to be honest with you, the way I've been riding, there's a lot more guys to worry about than just McGrath, you know. But, you know, I know that I can do it. I set the fast times and stuff, and I'm right there competitive with the times. I just need to go out there in the main tonight and know that I can do it, and hopefully it happens.
Good luck in the main, Kevin.
Thanks a lot.
A painfully honest Kevin Windham as he goes back to the pits. Toyota Trucks presents the EA Sports Supercross Finals, a spectacular event that will be taking place on May 6th. The fans will want to mark that first time that Supercross racing has ever appeared live on television.
Can't wait for that, although I'll be there, so I won't really get the full benefit, but all my family and friends are going to be pretty happy to see it that way.
7:30 Western, 10:30 Eastern time, full 3-hour coverage. We'll be going back in the pits and everything, so check it out. Pay-per-view from Las Vegas on May 6th. So the qualifying heats have completed as Kevin Windham and David Vuillemin have taken the top positions. They'll get the best gate selections. We'll be right back with more EA Sports Supercross in a moment.
Call now for a free brochure.
More than 52,000 fans are packed into the RCA Dome here in Indianapolis, Indiana, to check out EA Sports Supercross. And boy, did they see some action in the first 2 qualifying heats. Some of the interesting notes, David Bailey. One I found that Jeremy had his problems. Looked like he was riding a little rough, while David Vuillemin was riding very smooth. Vuillemin, the winner in that first heat, had a fast lap.
I'll tell you what, the key to that is the fact that Vuillemin was able to get into the lead quickly and establish his own pace. He was able to look at the entire racetrack. Jeremy's back there trying to work his way into second. He was about 7th or 8th going around the first corner. Got into second and was trying to hurry things to get around Windham. He could be just a little bit off. We talked about the fact he's not feeling well. If you're just feeling 1% not well enough, that's the kind of things that can get up there and bite you.
Even though he was behind David Vuillemin, a fellow Frenchman, Sebastien Tortelli, impressed me in that first heat.
Well, he had, from what I could tell, the fastest lap of that heat race, 53 seconds. He doesn't call himself a Supercross rider, but on this track, if he can turn 53-second lap times or anything even close, you're a Supercross rider, and this could be a night where he finds a great finish, gets up on the podium.
We've seen Kevin Windham win heats before in this season. We've seen him look fast in practice. Can he hold on during the main event? He had a nice win in the second heat.
Well, that's a huge question mark, and everybody's wondering that. And if he cruised through the Honda pits, there's kind of a weird vibe because the results from Kevin really don't show the kind of talent that he has. The guy can win practice anytime he wants, but it really comes down to mentally, can he handle the pressure from behind? If he gets a lead in the main event like we've seen him do before, I think he can take it. But if somebody's pressuring him, I think he may just drop a couple positions.
With Jeremy McGrath regaining the momentum in the points chase, we asked several of the riders before tonight's event their impressions as to how they're doing after 5 rounds.
Yeah, I just want to be competitive all year and stay on the podium and just to put pressure on Jeremy because I'm second in championship and I just want to be stay in top 3 and I will try my best to do to put a lot of pressure on Jeremy and maybe he will make a mistake and I can profit about that, you know. And so for me, everything is new. I never came here to Indy, so the dirt is different and all the East Coast race it's all new for me.
It's early. I mean, I really don't have any major game plans other than to go out there and, you know, to try and win some races. And I think that's what I'm going to shoot for each week. And I think as far as the points go, if I can, you know, at least be on the podium, I think that's where, I mean, you're going to stay the closest if you don't win and give yourself the best chance.
It's actually Phoenix. I led that race for about 10 laps or so, and it was pretty cool. I've never, ever led a race before. 3rd last year here at Indy. It's my best ever, so I know I got the speed. Just worried about getting to the end of the race is my main problem now, and just calm down, and I'm just going to shoot for that top 5 spot.
It's been a tough start of the season, and you know, out rather slow, but the positive side, I guess, is I'm healthy and you know, trying my butt off to get it up there, and you know, I really don't know. I'm digging deep and beating my head up against the wall, and the bike is absolutely great. You know, we're trying to change it and do whatever it takes, but there's nothing I want to change. You know, every day I ride it, I feel comfortable, I feel great, and even in practice, setting fast lap times and things like that. So I'm really happy with everything that the machine's doing. I just, I don't know, mentally, whenever it comes time to race, I'm not up to par, and you know, it's really working on me right now. I'm trying hard to get it changed, and I'm confident it'll turn around here eventually.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a long road on this 250, and you know, with the help of Kawasaki and everybody on the team, I've been working hard on my schedule and at home, and every weekend been getting better and better finishes, and you know, looking to make that reliable every weekend, that I'll be up in the top 5 and put in consistent rides every single weekend, and you know, hopefully before too long, one of these races I'll be tapping at the door for first place, hopefully.
Supercross Live. It's a great way to see this exciting sport, and here are the future schedules after Pontiac. We go to Atlanta, Georgia, and the Georgia Dome. March 11th, we go to Speed Week down at Daytona, Florida, and that traditional track down there. And then it's up to St. Louis, Missouri, always a surprise in the Trans World Dome there. And it'll be coming up on March 18th. Ezra Lusk joins us as a special guest here in the booth as we look forward to our first semifinal round here in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Get it on.
The subject for this week's Honda Close-Up, American Honda's Dan Bentley. Dan came up through the ranks as a mechanic for 6-time champion Jeff Stanton. Great experience for becoming Team Honda's liaison with their 125 support team, FMF.
In anything, communication is important, as well as if you're just working with a single rider, or my job now is to work with the FMF team and try to help with any problems that they're currently having with the motorcycle, and then you know, contact Japan or contact our testing group and try to figure out what the problems are and make the bike as good as we can make it. And my job is to try to help with Cliff White and myself and FMF to come up with some engine settings that the riders like. And then Show is involved with doing all the suspension setup for the riders, and so it's a package deal. And we don't have really direct involvement. We try to look at it as it's FMF's team, but we try to help out with them as much as we can with parts and assistance.
Dan Bentley, this week's Honda Close-Up. Welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana, the RCA Dome for more EA Sports Supercross as we get set for our first semifinal round. We just came out of a Honda Close-Up, but we've got live and close-up as you can get a guy who wishes he was down at the line or running this track right now, Ezra Lusk. Ezra, of course, recovering from an injury, and he's going to help us out during this this semifinal round. As we get set, the flag is sideways, the card is sideways. Let's go down and see the start.
And who else? Grayson Goodman. This kid can get hole shots like you wouldn't believe against anybody.
And Damon Huffman is right behind him.
I think every start I've seen tonight, David, Grayson Goodman's got the whole shot.
He's something else with the start. You know what I like about that, too, is that a lot of the guys, they don't want to get out there if they know they're not quite as talented as some of the guys in the race with them. But Grayson's not afraid to have that pressure.
Looks like Damon Huffman wants to challenge Grayson Goodman here early as Larry Ward. It's good to see him back on a bike up in third place. Here's the battle between the two. Looks like Damon's looking just for the right place to pass, Ezra.
Yeah, he got a great drive through the woods that lap.
Damon almost touching the rear tire of Grayson Goodman. Staying close, and Larry Ward is there in third place. Remember, the top 5 graduate to the main event.
Well, normally I would say these guys out front may get so concerned with each other. Larry Ward, number 10, right back there in third, just slipped by all three, by both of them, I mean. But I don't know if he's feeling 100% right now. It took him a while to get up. He's probably thinking, if I can just get in the top 5 and make the main event, that'll be a big improvement.
Keith Voss currently in fourth. John Sebastian Roy in fifth with Ryan Cherlicki on the bubble as we take a look at the top 3. Goodman, Huffman, and Larry Ward. Grayson Goodman out of the Dallas area for Plano Honda. And there is the pass by Damon Huffman. See if Grayson can hold on, though, for that transfer to the main event as Larry Ward now goes wide trying to test Grayson. Larry Ward passes into second place. Heath Voss is the next challenge for Grayson. As we take a look at Damon Huffman. Huffman's been in single figures in the last 3 races. His best was the 7th at San Diego. But it appears that he's starting to get his timing down and riding a little more aggressive, David.
It takes time. You could have a guy just sit out a race with no injury, with no problems at all. It would still be a little bit tough coming back. Every time you stay away from racing, you lose just a little bit. You get hungrier, but you lose a little bit of that timing. Yeah, Heath Voss just gets a big leap into that whoop section. Earlier in the heat races, we were seeing guys wheelie into that. I don't know what you think, Ezra. It seems like when the guys wheelie in there, they're able to keep the bike a little flatter.
Yeah, those whoops are really, really fast, like we saw last weekend in Houston. So I think wheeling into them, keeping their momentum up, will be the fastest way through there. We see Damon pass for the lead through those whoops, and those long legs that Damon has really helps out a lot also.
What do you think about Kevin winning that heat race?
I think it was good. You know, Jeremy started to make up a little bit of time on him, but I think he was experimenting a little bit too much and ended up tucking the front wheel over there in that corner. There's a lot of options out here tonight, so, you know, those guys are really going to have to pick the fastest line and a line that's not going to get so rutted up.
Looks like it's going to be hard if you got a few guys right on your tail to go out there and use the outside, which when you're by yourself, that might be the fastest line, but would you be worried about somebody coming underneath you?
Yeah, exactly. I think with the starts that Kevin usually gets, I think he'll be able to get out front and use those lines. But, you know, like you said, if Jeremy or one of those guys is on him, it's going to be tough to choose the fastest line every lap.
Damon Huffman, our leader, number 20. He won the semifinal round in Houston last weekend. He goes for his 2nd straight checkers. When we return, the checkers will be waving. Welcome back to the RCA Dome, Indianapolis, Indiana, where Damon Huffman of Team Suzuki is on his way to winning his 2nd straight semifinal round in 2 weeks. He's on the final lap right now, looking as smooth as ice. Boy, he'd like to improve upon his performance during the main event here this evening in Indianapolis.
I think things at Suzuki are probably getting a little more interesting with Pastrana joining the semi. Albie's been improving his finishes a little bit, so kind of a wake-up call to Damon. You better start getting with it. He's got the talent. It just takes a lot of nerve to jump into a whoop section like that and carry the front wheel about 5 or 6 bumps. If you set it in the wrong place, you go right over the handlebar.
The checkered flag for Damon Huffman. So this has got to be another confidence builder. Even though it's a semifinal, it's nice to see those checkers, Ezra.
Yeah, I think, you know, as long as you take the checker flag first, it's always a confidence builder. And when you're leading the race in front of everybody, and I don't know if it's nerves or whatever is playing a part in Damon this year, but it's always going to help him winning a semi.
Okay, our Honda result sheet has Huffman, Ward, Voss, Waugh, and Goodman on their way to the main event. Let's go down to Davey.
Damon, I know you probably would like to have gotten that win a little earlier, but semifinal or not, it's a checkered flag. It's got to help your confidence.
Yeah, it does. It feels good. I would like to qualify out of the heat, but when I ride these, I feel like I should win them.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And we're getting set already for the 2nd semifinal round. We've got some names trying to make this main event. Michael Craig, Robbie Raynard. Raynard back for his first race since a nerve problem in the deltoid muscle, and he obviously couldn't raise his elbow up very high with that nerve problem. And so it was a very, very serious injury. The board is sideways. We're almost set for our 2nd semifinal from Indianapolis.
John Dowd to the inside there, Art.
Oh. And taking over is Michael Craig, number 43. He's a one-time winner back in Tampa, Florida. But he's getting the challenge right now from Todd DeHoop, the old veteran, number 111.
A couple of veterans, really. Craig's been around for so long. He still has the talent to go out and lead semis. He has so much experience. He knows where to ride on the track. He's able to jump enough obstacles. Might not be quite as fast as McGrath, but it's fast enough to go out and do some damage in these semis.
Joining us here in the semifinal, like he did in the first round of the semis, is Ezra Lusk of Team Honda, recuperating from an injury. I want to ask you right now, partner, when do you expect to be back?
Well, in the next couple weeks, I'm really going to start working it really hard and doing a lot of physical therapy and strengthening. And I would say 6 to 8 weeks before I'll be riding a motorcycle again.
So hopefully back for the Nationals anyways. We see number 64, David Vuillemin, out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania on the Suzuki. There's Michael Craig, our leader, but Vuillemin is trying to test now John Dowd, number 16.
Number 17, Rayner, the rear end of this big train. See him right there getting past one rider. That's still not good enough for the main event. I think he needs to pick up one more position.
Ezra, it's interesting, even though you've been out of action, you'd like to keep track of Supercross and everything that's going on. Not only have you shown up in the last couple of events, but also we went on that post-game show on the web, Supercross.com, PaceSupercross.com, and you were listening to the play-by-play of that event.
Yeah, we were watching that race that night, and I'm so interested in seeing how the team's doing and how all the riders are doing and how everything's playing out, and I just like to stay involved, and that's why I'm here this weekend watching the first East Coast race and trying to be a motivator for our guys.
Well, it was a thrill to have you on after the race, too, as you called in. And the people that were manning the phones didn't believe it was Ezra Lusk calling from Georgia. And we finally convinced them it was your voice, and it was a real pleasure. You gave the fans a tremendous thrill in your impressions at that time. Right now, we're at the second semifinal round while Michael Craig still leads with John Dowd and Greg Schnell, number 63. Is making a play for things.
John Dowd makes a pass there hard over that triple section.
John Dowd getting in front of Vuillemin. No, Vuillemin 64. That's Michael Craig losing the lead to John Dowd. Dowdy coming back.
Surprised me a little bit right there with Craig that close, that Dowd took the outside. I think he's got a lot of trust. And I think he knows Craig's pretty happy just to be in second place and going to the main event. He doesn't want to take a chance of taking them both out.
Look at number 63, Greg Schnell in third. This is interesting when you go from a 125 in the Western Series to jumping on a 250, Ezra.
Yeah, I really don't know much about Greg Schnell, but the little I've watched him, I really like the way he rides. I think he's a really fast rider, and he's got a lot of potential.
That was the pass for the lead. Dowd tripling into the corner, so wasn't really any mistake by Craig, just a much better line by Dowd.
Can John Dowd hold on to the lead here in our second semifinal round? We'll find out when we return with more EA Sports Supercross in a moment.
800 Hair Club now.
We're back in Indianapolis, Indiana. Second semifinal round. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs. Joined here in the second semifinal with Ezra Lusk back up in the booth. John Dowd is our leader, but the battle looks like it's forming right now between Michael Craig and Greg Schnell. Robbie Raynard also, number 17, making a move, and he's moved into third to take on number 43, Michael Craig. Boy, things happening faster in the semi.
Yeah, Renard's making a move up to the front, and he's actually feeling a lot better with that shoulder, getting a lot more comfortable here tonight.
That was a scary thing when the doctors told Robbie Renard that he might not ever race again.
Yeah, it's tough. I was really worried when I went in surgery a few weeks ago. You really don't know what to expect, but good Lord was willing, and we're going to be healthy again. So,
white flag is out for the final lap of our second semifinal round. Anybody that doesn't make it here has to get one of the top two positions in the last chance qualifier. There's Michael Craig getting in front of number 17, Robbie Raynard. Our leader, number 16, John Dowd. What a big boost this is for Dowdy.
He's had some good finishes in the main, but he hasn't really been able to get them back-to-back, get any kind of confidence.
Pretty much of a middle-of-the-pack season with 2 10 places, an 11th and a 12th. Tough season when you're on a new team, just moving over to Team Kawasaki. But right now, Dowdy's looking forward to his checkered flag. John Dowd winning our semifinal round and a bang-bang finish for second with Michael Craig, number 43, and you see there, number 17, Robbie Raynard. Big question with Raynard now and his conditioning is, can he go a full 20 laps effectively like he did here in the semifinal round? So our Suzuki EA Sports Supercross results for it shows Dowd, Craig, Raynard, Greg Schnell, the 125 rider, and another 125er out of the West, Isaiah Johnson, making the main event. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
John, that looked like a pretty solid effort out there on what I would say is going to be a really rough track.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tricky tonight. I think, there's a lot of ruts out there. The dirt's a little soft. Not as bad as it is in the past, or has been in the past, but, the guys from Dirtworks did a great job on the track, and it's holding up really good.
All right, right on. We'll let you get back to the pits, get ready for the main event.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Before we say goodbye to Ezra Lusk, who joined us for the semifinal rounds up here in the broadcast booth. Ezra, what was your impression now? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think Kevin Windham getting the start, feeling what it's going to be like to win a race again, trying to get back into that groove, and that's Kevin's whole deal, trying to get back in the groove, trying to fill things out, and maybe winning that race is going to turn him around. We saw Carmichael get a glimpse of McGrath for a little bit there. I think he might pull something together in the main event, and Jeremy making a mistake. It's been a while since I've seen that. Thanks again for joining us, Ezra Lusk, Team Honda. So we're going to take a look now at the 125 debut of Travis Pastrana and the Battle of 125 Champions next, as the 125 East opens the season when we return. Dunlop superiority. We're back here at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana for more EA Sports Supercross, and the fans have just witnessed some very exciting qualifying racing, and also the LCQ has just been completed. We've got over 52,000 fans here in Indianapolis viewing this action right now. And one thing you can do in the final round of coverage, you can create Supercross history by participating in the live pay-per-view telecast, 3 hours of coverage, May 6th, starting at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 Western, for the first time on live television, the final round coming to you, destination Las Vegas. Hope you can join us during that time. The LCQ results see KTM Shane King winning that one. Kyle Lewis, the veteran, on a Suzuki, securing the final spot on the 20-rider gate. Quite an exciting field of action. The 250s are all lined up, but the 125s open their 125 Eastern season, and we talked with the top contenders about their aspirations for the 2000 season.
I know that if I ride smooth and ride like I know I can and just worry about, what I have to do and not worry about all the other riders, I've gained quite a bit of experience last year in the Nationals, and last year in Supercross I learned quite a bit, and I think I'm ready to win some races this year.
Yeah, I can win it. I'm training for it, and I will win it. I'm really pumped about it, and I want it so bad. So I think I've done whatever it takes to do it, so I'm going to do it.
I got this brace because I broke my thumb, and it's a little bit restrictive, so I'm about 85%. So I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself, but I'm going to go out there and try to beat that defending champ, Ernesto Fonseca. He's going to be tough, and it's kind of weird, us being the champions from the opposite coast, and I'm here on his ground, but he doesn't know this is my route. So I'm going to go out there and give it everything I can, try to be smart.
My feelings for the season is, my season's already started, with the 250 class. I'm just, trying to run it into the 125 class with a little bit more experience, a little bit of nerves pushed off, and, just, ready to race, ready to perform, and hopefully I can get out there and do the job I need to do.
I'm really looking forward to racing this series. I just have to try not to make so many rookie mistakes, keep it on 2 wheels, and have a lot of fun. Ended up breaking my thumb at Jeremy McGrath's practice track 2 weeks ago. Doctor says I can't hurt it anymore, and I'm really looking forward to going out there. And, it's whatever place I get, that's the place I deserve, because the thumb feels 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be way tougher this year. I think there's a lot of great riders out there, and it's not going to be as easy as it was for me last year. I won 6 races out of 7, and I know this year there's a lot of guys. It's Travis, Nathan, Stefan, Brock, and me, and I think it's going to be way tougher for sure. Just got to be consistent, be there for the 8 races, and I think consistency is going to make a big difference.
David Bailey, we've mentioned several times to ourselves back and forth that this depth of field is unlike any we've ever seen.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the heat races. Ron Cotto's looked about the best of all these guys, but you got Sellards, you got Fonseca, the champion, you got Ramsey, Pastrana, the new kid. Matt Walker could come in and surprise people. Brandon Jessamine, I thought, was very fast in his heat race till he made a little mistake there and crashed, but he still worked his way back into position. I mean, there's so many riders on the gate. It's double figures, guys that can win the main event here tonight, and for that matter, the championship.
It puts a lot of pressure on. Can you do poorly in one of the 7 races and still win a championship?
Well, you know what? Normally I would say no, but the fact that there are so many good riders in this class, I think everybody's going to have a bad night somewhere along the line. It's just try not to finish too far back. Outside the top 5, I don't think is going to be acceptable if you plan on winning the championship.
Jimmy Button get well soon, and he is getting well. Day by day, our best thoughts toward Scottsdale, Arizona, and Jimmy Button's recovery. Travis Pastrana will be at the line for the 125 Supercross race here tonight in his debut. Well, he made himself famous with freestyle motocross. It's coming up in Denver, 25th through the 26th in this month. 12 times in the 15-year history of the 125 East, the first round winner has gone on to win the title. We'll check it out. A very important season opener coming up next.
Dowd.
In 1999 at the Indianapolis RCA Dome, Jeremy McGrath had already put a wrap on the Supercross Championship. When McGrath crashed in the first corner, along with a host of others, spectators didn't expect to see an all-out effort from McGrath. Logic said he's got nothing to gain, so why risk life and limb? Getting the whole shot was number 31, Damon Huffman, with number 4, Ezra Lusk, number 5, Mikel Pichon, and number 20, Tim Ferry, close behind. Still early in the race, and positions up front are about to change, Lusk took the measure of Huffman. Not knowing who was behind him, Lusk hoped the quick pass would allow him to split from the field. Mikel Pichon, however, was not about to let that happen. In a nasty set of whoops, the Frenchman dropped Huffman to 3rd. Behind the leaders, McGrath cast logic aside. The world's best Supercross rider was passing in wholesale lots as he worked through the pack. This pass on number 25, Nathan Ramsey, was McGrath's last pass of the night. From down and out in corner number 1, McGrath would finish 4th. At the checkers, it was all Ezra Lusk who recorded his 5th victory of the season. The loudest cheers, though, were for Supermac and his inspired ride to 4th.
Welcome back to the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. EA Sports Supercross is underway. Let's go down now to Davey Coombs.
All right, Travis, this is it. Your first time in the starting gate of a Pace Supercross. You've been waiting for this your whole life. How do you feel?
Man, I feel so good. A little bit of pre-race jitters, but, you know, I can't believe all the crowd here and inside the RCA Dome here in Indy. Just having a lot of fun, about to take off. Just as long as I have fun, I'm going to be happy.
Let me ask you real quick about the thumb. How did it feel in the qualifiers?
I'm going to get arm pumped, but no one else knows, so thanks.
Quite a reaction from a young rookie just entering his first pro season. He creates a lot of excitement, David Bailey, but he's got his hands full.
Yes, he does. And I just got the comment. He already looks like he's having fun. I don't know if a poor finish in the main could ruin all that enthusiasm he has right now, but yes, in order for him to go out and win this thing or finish on the podium, he's going to have the best ride of his life to date.
While the 125s take their parade lap, I want to remind those fans who can't get to a Supercross that Arena Cross could be your ticket to motorcycle excitement. Buddy Anthonez is gunning for his 4th consecutive crown. His teammate Denny Stevenson is the top contender. That'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. Next 3 events, Sacramento, Salt Lake City, Utah, and then back to San Jose, California. Then there's Pace Ultracross at Greensboro, North Carolina, and Memphis on the same date, February 25th through the 27th. Then it's on to Portland, Oregon, March 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There's hardly a community in the country this sport can't be seen in person. The 125 East opens up when we come back.
Sirloin stack. Let's eat.
While we were away, Travis Pastrana is now having his bike checked out by Lee McCullough, his mechanic, because he tried a trick on the parade lap and missed it and went over into the tough boxes.
That was really not that big of a deal. I think he thought he could just cruise out over the berm, but it was a pretty big drop, and there was some people standing in the way. Didn't really have anywhere to go. He just kind of laid it over. But there you can see a good shot of the brace on his thumb.
It's actually a small cast protecting that area. And let's check out the Suzuki 125 grid sheet right now. Stefan Roncada and Michael Brandis. They won the qualifying heats and got their pick of the gate, first and second. Brock Sellards, Nicholas Way, Travis Evans, Travis Pastrana, Ernesto Fonseca in seventh, the defending champion. Then the seasoned Paul Curry, Clark Pavoni, Nathan Ramsey, the 125 Western champion, and a slug of riders who could really disrupt things here in the 125 Eastern opener.
I'm looking at as the riders line back up to the gate, riding back there behind to their spots. Fonseca, Brandis, and Sellards. Over the last three, they took a long look at the whoop section.
Let's go down to Davey for his last second impression. Davey.
Well, my impression is exactly what you guys are talking about. You should have seen Roger DeCoster's face when Travis crashed on a parade lap. And then when he came back to a starting gate, there must have been 15 photographers standing around waiting. Suzuki has had something like this happen since they had Jeremy McGrath back in '97.
This is the most anticipated 125 season that I can remember. The 32nd board is up. They'll be revving. Who will get the Yahoo Sports Whole Shot Award and the extra bonus money taking that first turn, number one. It's get nervous time now for the riders. Travis Pastrana remarking that he had a few butterflies. Well, he even showed it on the parade lap.
Might have got that out of his system now. There's Roncada to the inside. Paul Curry, a friend of Travis, right beside him.
Board is sideways. We're ready to go. From Indianapolis, the 125 main event. Number 127 is Michael Brandis getting the whole shot money. The Yahoo Sports bonus money. And Travis Pastrana has moved into second place. Now he rubs backside rubber and is pushed back to third.
That was a beautiful save. Sellers didn't want any part of following Travis Pastrana around, not even for a corner. Put a tough pass on him, and it looked like Travis' legs weren't so long, he may have just tipped right over. And at the tail end of the field, Nathan Ramsey, he had a problem in the same corner where Travis almost went down.
I have a feeling every race in this division, David Bailey, that some very heralded rider will be toward the back of the pack. As Michael Brandis tries to hold on to the lead, Brock Sellards, who had such a successful 250 opening to the season in the Western Division, is in second place. There's our Yahoo Sports Whole Shot Award winner coming right toward us, number 27. Let's take another look, David.
Check out the start as these guys all come flying in. See to the inside. Looked like Travis got a pretty good jump. He tried to block the guys to the inside of him. A couple of riders going out over the berm. Burkhart on the KTM just waiting to get going there. It was a huge log jam, and just after that, Nathan Ramsey had a problem. He's circulating at the back of the field.
David Bailey, we've got a tremendous freight train out front. Brock Sellards in second place. That is Pastrana. Here comes Roncada, number 26, to the inside. Into the whoop section, though. Pastrana just leaps him behind.
And just took him to school through there.
Here
Unbelievable.
Pastrana looking a little wild, though, David. Pastrana in third place.
He's going to have to be a little bit wild to get in there and dice with these guys, because the pace of Sellards and his teammate Brandis out front, who was just riding brilliant today. And Roncada. Pastrana gets him back right through there, but Roncada is really putting the heat on Pastrana, just not giving him a chance to relax. They know this kid gets hyper and makes mistakes. They're trying to take it to him right now.
So two FMF Hondas are leading in our 125 main from Indianapolis. Look at that, Pastrana. They both go down. Brock Sellards and Pastrana.
Now Roncada, you see off to the top of the screen, is stuck off the racetrack. The bike falls over the other way. So he got caught up in that mess when he really could have gone by both of them and started chasing the leader.
So Roncada rejoins the group in 8th place.
Well, that was maybe bad judgment by Travis right there. That happened to him earlier in the day in his pre-qualifier to even make the program, since he hasn't raced the 125s yet. He tripled something into a corner. The guy in front of him didn't do it. Same type of deal. He high-sided. I actually thought he would have learned from that, but he's so excited right now.
The defending champion as you see him go through the screen, and there goes another one down. Nick Way, number 23. He was in 5th.
Well, there he goes down again. I think all these guys, it's safe to say, they realize the magnitude of this series, how much talent's out there, and they're all a little bit over-anxious.
Let's check out, see what happened to Nick.
Well, Sellers got in there and just took his time just a little bit extra. And lets Pastrana get around. There goes Curry.
And also Paul Curry, number 38, moves up a notch as we take a look at Michael Brandis. What a great break for Brandis.
Well, he looked fantastic in his heat race, winning that. And then here, look at the lead he has now. All this action going on behind him is really giving him a boost.
Over a 7-second lead on the second-place rider and defending champion of the 125 Eastern Division, Ernesto Fonseca.
You know, this is what Fonseca talked about. He didn't want to go out there and take a lot of chances. He knew he was going to have to be a little bit more patient. And that patience, and maybe he was lucky to get that bad start and not get caught up in all this mess.
Tyler Evans, number 45, right there, has moved into 3rd. Evans ran the first 4 250 races and did very well. He had a 3rd place, his 2nd podium in his career here last year at Indianapolis. Then he came back for a 2nd place finish in Las Vegas. Evans, number 45. Brock Sellers held up in the corner.
This is reminding me of the Bob Hurricane Hanna, the guy that would get past aggressively and right back at you. Travis Pastrana goes in there and gives it to Sellers. There's the Coster. I know he's not going to have any nails left, any hair, anything by the end of the season. Watching Travis, these kids, you never know what he's up to.
This is absolutely incredible. This 125 season opener for the 125 East. Anything can happen. We'll find out when we return.
Wednesday at 10 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to an incredible 125 main here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Our leader is number 27, Michael Brandis. He got out in front, and then everybody started banging bars in back of him. Number 56. And here is the defending champion, Ernesto Fonseca, in 2nd place.
He's 7 seconds back right now. Really isn't closing the gap like I thought. There's Pastrana. Look how close he is to Fonseca already. Travis has already crashed twice. Once in the parade lap, once in the race. He's had a few physical moves. Almost went down another time when Sellers gave him a nudge. And he's still in a position to make the podium in his first race. That's why this kid comes in with so much hype. Can't imagine if he ever wins one, what he's going to do off the finish line jump.
Not only has he had a stellar amateur career, but also because of his success and fame from the Extreme Games and freestyle motocross aerial antics, he comes in a very, very popular supercross athlete before he even runs a pro race.
And you forget he's just a kid, you know. And every time we hear from him, he's just talking about how he just wants to have fun. That is important. But he's a kid. This is all fun to him, and it's business for these other guys.
Look at Ron Cotta on his pass of Tyler Evans behind Pastrana. Ron Cotta has crashed and has come back.
I think he may be a little angry. Plus, he was the fastest of the 2 heats earlier. He's winning his heat. He had the fastest lap times that I saw in practice.
Behind Tyler Evans now, Brock Sellers trying to move up a notch. There's Tyler Evans, and Brock Sellers right behind him. Let's check in with Davey Coombs down on the floor of the stadium.
You talk about having an instant impact. Just look at what Travis Pastrana has done to Sellers. His game isn't what it is. He just passed, of course, Tyler Evans, but this is not the Brock Sellers we saw in the heat race, and it's not Ron Cotta we saw either. Pastrana has gotten in there and totally affected the pace of this race. They're not used to this kind of energy.
Good point, Davey.
We better get used to it, because he's going to get even more energetic. He went down right here. See the flags? That's Pastrana. Those little mistakes are going to cost 3 crashes now. And he's really got to cut those out of the program. The kid's fast enough to crash once and still make the podium. He proved that. But 2 crashes with the kind of competition in this field, I don't think he's going to be able to get the finishes that will make him satisfied after the race.
So Brock Sellards riding coolly on his Honda machine as we take another look at our leader, number 27, Michael Brandes. Brandes opening the season with testing the 250s in Anaheim in the opening race, but then he decided, hey, I want to get back on my 125 and work out on that 125 until the 125 Eastern Open. That's exactly what he did, and he's in line now to win this opener with Fonseca, number 1, having problems in second place.
I don't know that he's having problems. He
jammed it on the last one.
He's just having to roll these triples because they had a red cross flag out. And it looks to me like the pace of Brandes is just too much. Fonseca's going as fast as he can, but he's not able to close that gap.
And it was interesting that Michael Brandes opened the season with 3 third places last year and a 5th, and then ran into terrifically hard times and nothing but double digits. He's in line to win the opening 125 Eastern round. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Indianapolis. This is the 6th round of EA Sports Supercross. And it's our opener of the 125 Eastern Division with number 27 of FMF Honda, Michael Brandes, way out in front.
You used to be able to see Fonseca in that shot, just entering that straightaway. You can't anymore. You just got a glimpse of him, but he's been able to widen that gap. I'm so impressed. I mean, I knew Brandes had skill. He looked good on the 250 earlier this year. Then I thought he had a little bit of an injury, and he might not be 100% coming into this race. But, man, he is just really been unbelievable. I'll tell you what's going on behind him. Somehow Fonseca and Roncada have locked themselves together in the corner where Travis had gone down. They are stuck. They can't get apart.
That's amazing. The 2nd and 3rd place riders behind number 27 have got hooked up together. So it's hard keeping up with the top 5 in this race.
Well, for Roncada and Fonseca to drop all the way back, that moves Sellards, Evans, Pastrana back up into good position.
And gives Brandes a walk.
This is going to be one of the easiest rides that Brandes ever had.
When you see number 45, well, there's Brock Sellards.
17 seconds behind. And Evans. And here
Evans
comes
is in
Pastrana.
3rd, number 45. And then Travis Pastrana in 4th.
Looks to me like he's got an opportunity for that podium, and if he can see it, and he's going to go for it, even if it means crashing. That's just the way this kid's wired. I have yet to see him calm down. Remember Carmichael, his first ride here, all over the place. He learned his lesson eventually.
This is a beautiful ride by Michael Brandes as he looks forward to that 125 victory now.
It must be nice to be on cruise control with a huge lead like he has. What a great feeling.
Well, let me see. He could fall down twice and still probably win. As we go back to 3rd place, and Tyler Evans is probably going to feel the heat of Pastrana.
Evans is putting together a fine ride as well. All the attention on Pastrana, on Ramsey, on Fonseca, Roncada, Nick Way. Look at the guys that are out front dominating. Brandes, Sellards, Evans. Sellards not that big of a surprise, but Evans and Brandes are to me.
Tyler Evans from Salinas, California on the Suzuki. He placed 3rd here last year, as we mentioned before, as the white flag is waving right now. Travis Pastrana, number 199.
I think it's safe to say, Art, that Travis could be a little bit tired. As much as he wants to go up there and catch Tyler Evans, he's just right there ahead of him. He's got to be pretty tired of picking that bike up.
especially with that very sore thumb. Final lap. Here's our leader. Boy, this guy has worked hard for many years.
Rider down over there, they're still not able to jump that triple. Look at Brandis just cruising around. Boy, this one's going to feel good. There's no way to tell how this is going to shape up. Somebody was asking me earlier in the pits. I'm like, I don't know. But I wouldn't have put my money on Brandis. I'd have put it on him to be in the hunt, but not to win this dominance.
Well, as we've seen in this opening round, the checkers flying for Michael Brandis. He has to be ecstatic as Dan Bentley going over to congratulate him. Second place going to Brock Sellers, FMF 1-2. And Tyler Evans and Pastrana on Suzuki's are next. Let's go down to Davey Combs. I don't know if he's got any breath left, but he certainly could cruise long enough, Davey, to catch it.
Well, Michael, that was a good ride. You can't imagine the carnage that was going on behind you. You rode smooth, you rode smart like a veteran, and you got your first Supercross win. Yeah, it feels great. You know, I've been working so hard for this. So awesome right now. A lot of tough guys out here, and I came out on top tonight. It feels so good. I'm just so excited right now. I like to thank so many people, and it just feels great right now. I know coming in, there was a lot of hype. Of course, Pastrana was here, the two defending champions, Fonseca and Ramsey. Did you feel like people forgot about you? To a kind of point, they always focus on, number one guys. I assumed they would do that. I come in, like the unexpected guy and clean up the win, like I did. It feels great, A lot of good talent out here. These guys are champions. I came out on top and I beat them. It feels great. Next week, you're the points leader. Oh, it's great. That's what I've been working for my whole life. FMF, Honda, they all got, been backing me. My trainer, especially Alan Gerke from Alpo Fitness, been helping me out so much. Dr. G, my mechanic, Rick, he's been so many people helping out. It's unbelievable, but it feels great right now, and I'm hoping to do the same next weekend. Congratulations. Thanks a lot.
So we have a first-time winner in our opening round of the 125 East as we take a look at the Suzuki results page. Michael Brandis, Brock Sellers, a hard-fought second place. Tyler Evans, very impressive in third. Travis Pastrana, well, it was his debut, and he got initiated, going down several times. Nick Way battling back for a top 5 position. Nathan Ramsey, who had a very poor start, finished in front of Stefan Roncada, who had a good start, and Ernesto Fonseca. Those two getting locked up. Brandon Jesseman, a good first start as he was injured all of last year and has come back to compete now in the 125 Eastern Division as we go down the rest of the 22-rider field here in the 125s. Well, we've got a first-time winner in the 125s, but we have never in Indianapolis had a first-time winner in the 250s. Can they do it, or will Jeremy hold on?
Tuesday at 9, only on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
EA Sports Supercross continues from Indianapolis, and it's time to play Can You Top This? Several yard sales in the 125 and such excitement, but the 250s are on the track right now taking the parade lap. This 250 field taking aim at their 6-time champion. Surveying the track for the last time before they go to the gate for round number 6 of the 250 Supercross.
There's been a lot of things changing out there on the racetrack, especially since that 15-lap 125 main event. The track has got a lot more rutted. Picking a line through the whoop section is going to be tricky. Right out of the first turn, that whole rhythm section full of whoops, whatever they want to call it, it's a new section. There's Jeremy taking a look. You'll see him. This is approaching the whoop section. He'll take a good long look at that. See him looking towards the inside a little bit. He always seems to find a way to go just a little bit faster than the next guy, but in the right spot. A lot of guys can go faster than somebody, but in the main line. Jeremy can do it somewhere else, therefore allowing him to pass people.
Jeremy won his first 4 years here, then with a broken clutch in '97, but he won again in '98. passing Henry on the second lap. Let's check in now with Davey Coombs.
Over to the starting gate, and I leaned in and asked Larry Brooks if he thought Jeremy was going to be able to go 20 laps full on. He just kind of looked at me and shrugged his shoulders and said, you know, I don't know. With the way the track is rutted out, he's going to have to be perfect. Otherwise, watch for Jeremy to maybe get tired toward the end, something we very rarely see.
Jeremy McGrath now nearing the gate position. Last year, it was the week after clinching the title. And he had a very tough time of it, going down to turn 1, crashing on the 5th lap. But he still came back for a 4th place position. Lusk winning the $25,000 in the final round of the Vans Triple Crown that year. Of course, this year, David Vuillemin has taken the first round of that Triple Crown, and he's got a shot at $500,000.
Jeremy was not happy. I didn't really realize the magnitude of him getting second and being upset about it until I thought about that Vans Triple Crown. He wanted that bad. It's gone now. Vuillemin has the chance.
David Vuillemin, who was such cool, has practiced with Jeremy except for this week and Jeremy's illness. Every week with Jeremy since the season started. Taking a look now at the Honda 250 lineup. Kevin Windham and David Vuillemin winning the qualifying heats. Windham with the faster time. McGrath, LaRocco, Carmichael, Tortelli, Ferry, Albertyn, Huffman, John Dowd, Larry Ward, after a huge crash in qualifying, came back in the semifinals to qualify for the main event. The 30-second board is up, and we're almost set to go with round 6. As Toyota Trucks presents EA Sports Supercross.
This first turn could be the story tonight, Art. You got Albertyn lined up all the way to the inside. Larry Ward next to him. LaRocco, Carmichael, Vuillemin, McGrath out there pretty far along with Windham. They could get pushed wide.
The cart is sideways. Let's listen and watch. Jeremy with an outstanding start. It's Jeremy McGrath with the whole shot award. But look who's in second. David Vuillemin. Can he catch him? And Kevin Windham is in third. Oh, what a group out front. In fourth, it's Mike LaRocco, number 5. But Jeremy McGrath, his second consecutive hole shot on the season. What a time to get it. I think he saved something back.
He just has that amazing timing, Art. When something needs to get done, he can get it done. Right there, a hole shot critical. He wouldn't have to use that extra energy working through the pack, but here comes Vuillemin.
Vuillemin testing the 6-time Supercross champion. Jeremy into the corner. Vuillemin now will try to go bar to bar, but Jeremy moving over on the track wisely. What a veteran move. Windham still in third, but the battle is between 2 Yamahas. The only 2 winners this year in Supercross action.
Windham is all over these guys as well. He's not waiting. Look at Windham jump his way through.
Windham starts to put the challenge, and there he does. More than the challenge, jumping into second place against David Vuillemin, and LaRocco is right behind Vuillemin.
Wyndham just jumped all the way up over that plateau to the inside. I only saw the guys doing that in practice. He pulled that out in the main event.
Greg Albertyn in 5th as we take a look at Vuillemin now in 3rd place. Mike LaRocco in 4th.
Another great start for LaRocco. He got a good one in the heat race. He needs to be right here in contact. He needs to see the leaders, not let him get away. Watch this pass.
Mike LaRocco saying he feels better now after a hard crash 2 races ago. He couldn't even lift his arm to put a shirt on.
Now look at Carmichael, number 4, starting to show up in the picture right behind Greg Albertyn. Block pass right there.
Mike LaRocco says if I get the opportunity, there's a block pass by RC on Albertyn. So Ricky Carmichael moves up a notch.
That was 2 physical elbows to Albertyn. It took Carmichael to get around, but he had to stay in contact with the leader.
Did you notice the leaders? Windham is not far behind Jeremy McGrath. Windham looking for his first victory of the season. And what a boost that would be for Team Honda. Here's Ricky Carmichael. He's now challenging Mike LaRocco as LaRocco takes him in the whoops.
Watch what they do after the finish line jump. If LaRocco goes wide, now looks like he went wide. I'm surprised Carmichael didn't go to the inside. It looks to me like Carmichael, he's faster through that section. LaRocco is so strong. He can go through there with a different timing and just muscle his way through it.
Some believe that LaRocco's riding with a cracked shoulder. He just didn't want to go to the doctor because he didn't want to be sidelined this time of the season. He is so tough and in such good shape. That'll be an immense challenge for Ricky Carmichael.
Imagine that. You can't even take your shirt off by yourself because your shoulder's in so much pain and you're out there doing this, holding off somebody like Carmichael who is impatient right now, watching the leaders come by the other way through the whoops going, I got to get around this guy. LaRocco's doing it in pain.
Kevin Windham, Ali Seymour, his wrencher, is staying right with Jeremy McGrath. McGrath trying to pour it on, but unable to shake Windham.
Look at these guys, same timing. Windham is following McGrath, learning a little bit. I think he's going to be careful not to make a move too soon and give Jeremy a chance to retaliate. The best option is to keep, that's that little section I talked about. He was jumping all the way over the plateau. If he can keep the pressure on Jeremy, though, Art, force him to ride a little bit harder than he might be capable of tonight, that could be a good strategy for Kevin.
With the exception of Pontiac, where Supercross started racing there in 1976, Jeremy has won 13 of 19 races staged in the Midwest. In the Midwestern domes, that is. Fans have grown up watching him win. 5 wins here, 6 for 6 in Minneapolis, and 2 for 5 in St. Louis.
It's an incredible percentage this guy is win versus the amount of starts. It's got to be just an incredible streak. And right now, I don't think he's that worried about Kevin hanging with him. I think Jeremy, like he's always said, he likes to go out and make the first 8 laps of the main event the fastest laps, and they have been 53 seconds every time. But I think if he looks over his shoulder and sees Kevin back there on lap 15, he starts to worry a little bit.
I'll tell you, even if Kevin takes second place, a mystery has been solved in this young man's mind. Last week he ran as high as 3rd and faded to 7th.
I'll tell you what really impressed me about Kevin so far is not the fact that he's staying with McGrath, but the way he got into second in those first couple of laps aggressively. I haven't seen Kevin really give elbows like that and get that aggressive. Looks like he really wants it here tonight.
Jeremy McGrath in the timing session with Windham trying to hold on.
I'll tell you what, to watch him go through the section they just came through, watch Windham do this. It's a little bit risky. Jeremy talked about, he did it in practice as well. He said he didn't think it was going to be any faster. You almost need Dramamine just to watch these guys do some of the stuff they do. Let's take another look at the start. Jeremy, a clean hole shot. Looked like he was going to try to hold it tight. Dowd was flying off the outside, and then at the last minute he changed his mind and went wide.
Our leader continues to be Jeremy McGrath. The yellow flags are out. Isaiah Johnson is down, but Jeremy gets by cleanly. We'll be right back with more EA Sports Supercross
on ESPN.
Welcome back to Indianapolis, round 6 of EA Sports Supercross. We take a look at our leader, Jeremy McGrath, as he's looking forward to a 4th victory on the season. He had no practice on Friday, but he loves that because he doesn't need repetition. He analyzes a track so rapidly that normally he doesn't care about practice on Friday. He feels it gives the other riders, David Vuillemin, a disadvantage.
I think he actually looks forward to it when there's no practice on Friday, since he's the quickest one to figure out the racetrack. This week he might have liked to have had a little extra time out there to kind of get the bugs worked out. But and normally when we got a leader like this just pulling away, we go back in the pack and show you some interesting battles, but because this might be boring. There's nothing boring about watching the #1 rider in the world. He's been #1 in Supercross 6 times, going for #7, stretching his points lead. The guy's perfect. I mean, he's doing this and he's sick. There's people that would be in bed right now going, you know what, I don't feel good. I'll just kind of start over fresh tomorrow. Jeremy still get the job done because he's got so much natural talent. Doesn't use any energy when he rides. It's amazing.
Well, I can remember this is about the third time he's ridden with the flu. He also, as we mentioned, in Atlanta rode with the chicken pox. Let's go back down to Davey.
Art, I'm actually with Jeremy's mechanic, Randy Lawrence, and Randy, got to be surprised, so at the same time impressed by Jeremy. I know he's sick, and he just keeps going.
Yeah, he was a little sick this week. He didn't get to ride at all. He hasn't ridden since the Mace in Houston last week. He's won being sick before. He's won with the chicken pox. There's a lot of good riders this year. Didn't really know how it was going to go. He's kind of things up after practice and stuff. So kind of the main thing was to hopefully get out front. That kind of worked out that way. And try to run a good pace for a while. And it worked out. Windham was right behind us, running a really good pace. And Windham looked like he got a little bit tired before Jeremy did, so for us. And now he's got about 10 seconds on LaRocco, and we got about 2 laps left, so it's looking good.
We're looking at the time chart. He's got almost 12-second lead on the second-place rider, LaRocco. Windham, incidentally, has faded to 7th place. But Jeremy McGrath just keeps winning and moving, regardless of how he feels. If he wins this race, David Bailey, it would be the 6th consecutive win for Yamaha in the season. That's only 1 away from a tie of their all-time win streak during one season, which happened back in the Hannah days in 1978.
I got to see some of those. That was amazing as well. But I tell you, just to think that Jeremy is in cruise control with a 12-second lead over LaRocco, who's been riding his tail off. You know, it just doesn't. I don't know how many ways we can talk about how amazing Jeremy is, but I think we're going to just have to keep doing it because the guy just won't go away. If he wants to win for 3 more years, he can.
Now, second place for LaRocco here tonight would equal his best home track performance. His only podium of the year back in 1997 was a second place here in Indianapolis. The white flag is waving. We're under the final lap now as David Vuillemin continues to ride in third behind number 5, Mike LaRocco. But as you can see, he didn't come into the picture rapidly. Jeremy McGrath as the flashbulbs pop here in Indianapolis.
He may be even a little bit surprised at this, Art. You know, I mean, just think about that. He hasn't ridden the bike since the main event last week. He picked up where he left off. He's dominating.
Jeremy McGrath will be only 1 win away from tying Bob Hanna as the all-time winningest Yamaha rider. This will be his 19th win on a Yamaha. He's already the all-time winner of Honda with 43. And the checkers for Jeremy. 4th win of the season, number 64 in his great career. Mike LaRocco, an excellent performance. Draws the cheers of the Indiana fans. David Vuillemin just couldn't catch up with Jeremy, even though he had a good shot at it.
Larry Brooks. Davey talked about Larry earlier at the starting line going, I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's probably saying something about that right now, going, good job, Jeremy.
Jeremy with a little dry mouth there, that's for sure. As I'm sure that if he has a flu cold ailment, he probably is a little dehydrated right about now.
I've seen him look better. Doesn't matter, though. He still got the win.
Jeremy McGrath, our winner here in Indianapolis, and we'll be right back to hear from this great champion and others, Mike LaRocco amongst them, in a moment.
Win.
All Earth.
I know you came in here sick. I know that you didn't get to ride all week, but man, you went out there and you put in 20 hard laps. Where in the world did you find that strength?
Well, Davey, I made sure that I went back and really relaxed. I knew that
You still sound like you have a little bit of it.
I knew that my strength wouldn't be up for 20 laps. You know, I was on the couch all week and didn't ride until tonight. And, you know, I just focused, try and get a good start. Bridgestone tires hooked up well out of the gate. And I mean, I just tried to flow. We talked about just relaxing and riding the track, not trying to chop it up. And that's what I try to do.
I'll let you get a drink of water. Jeremy, once again, fantastic job.
Jeremy McGrath bringing fame to his independent team of Mazda Chaparral Yamaha. As we take a look at the Honda EA Sports Supercross results, McGrath again, LaRocco a tremendous ride in second, David Vuillemin in third, Ricky Carmichael holding his own in fourth and is looking for more consistency in the top 5. Damon Huffman doing a good job getting into the top 5. Tim Ferry, another fine performance in 6th, with Windham fading to 7th, Greg Albertyn in 8th, and Tortelli in 9th. As we take a look at the rest of the riders in the 20-rider field and how they finished here in the 250 main in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's go back now to Davey Coombs.
Well, Mike, I know it's your 29th birthday. I'm sure you'd like to celebrate with a win, but second, coming from behind like that, not bad.
Yeah, it was a tough race for me early. I didn't have the speed early, and they got away. I got a decent start, but, you know, really until halfway through that race, I really didn't click. And, you know, it's my own fault. I just needed to get going earlier. But, you know, my equipment worked great. My factory connection, AMSOIL, competition accessories, Honda was awesome. I just got to get going early.
And David, you got a real good start. And then it seemed like something happened in the middle of the race. You kind of lost your rhythm.
Yeah, I was behind Jeremy in the first 2 laps, and he makes some little bit mistakes, you know, and so I was deconcentrated, and I just did not get the timing back, and I was okay on the middle of the race, but you know, Kevin and Jeremy was gone, and you know, Kevin get tired, and so I could pass him, and I get tired also after, and so Mike caught me, and he was just behind me like 3 seconds, but you know, I had some trouble with lappers and also yellow flags, so but that's okay to get podium.
It's still your 5th time in a row on the podium, and that's what you need to do. You need to keep Jeremy in sight for the championship.
Yeah, for sure, but I need to maybe to put more pressure on him and to ride maybe better, because I'm a little bit too tight on the beginning of the race. That's why I'm getting tired a little bit.
Vuillemin, the only other winner of the season besides Jeremy McGrath, a quick learner in his first season of 250 Supercross action. And looking at the Suzuki points list, after Jeremy's 4th win here tonight, David is now 12 points behind the leader. LaRocco slipping to 20 down. Carmichael and Windham rounding out the top 5. Tonight's winner of the U.S. Army Teamwork Award, Mike LaRocco's AMSOIL Factory Connection crew. Mechanic Paul Delorier helping Mike to his 3rd second-place finish on the season. A great birthday present for his 29th birthday. The U.S. Army knows what teamwork can accomplish. Jeremy McGrath and crew travels next to Pontiac, Michigan for round 7 of EA Sports Supercross. That event will be shown on the 28th at 10 p.m., 7 out west. Then it's on to Atlanta and St. Louis with telecasts on the 4th and the 25th of March. Art Ekman, along with David Bailey, Davey Coombs, saying thank you so much for being with us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.